Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Let me make sure I have this pulled up on my phone because sometimes the YouTube chat is just like not gonna pop up on the old Streamlabs. Let me make sure I actually have you guys pulled up separately just in case. Welcome, Smike Plays. For some reason, I actually ironically see you guys on my Streamlabs, but it is not working on my phone. There's always something. It's crazy, you know. You pay for the technology, you pay a monthly subservice, and it doesn't always seem to work even if you give them the $18 a month. How's it going, Fritzies? I feel a little guilty because I put out a ping. I was like, hey everyone, this is in the Discord. You guys want to stop on by, help me out? Happy Monday, Lumby. Because I wanted to have like a conversation with everybody. Not a bad one. I promise it's not bad or anything, obviously. But I have Lorena on YouTube. That makes sense. That's why your name sounds familiar. I feel like you've used your Twitch too recently. Streamlabs glitches a lot. That it does. I can tell you that it definitely does. So the reason that I have actually gathered you all here today, now obviously we don't have to jump straight into business. It's not a there's no rush. We can always, talk about whatever, our thoughts and feelings. We can each talk about our Mondays, and some of you might still be at work. You can vent and say your supervisor's a dummy. I get it, I've had dumb bosses, throughout my whole life. But the reason that I was so bold to put out a ping in chat is actually because I wanted to redo something. So as you may know, I have always been working on YouTube videos for a while, and I always put out like an APB that's like, hey, if you have suggestions, put them in the comments below. I'm always looking to make future videos. Problem I'm now running into is that the list is so long, and it's hard to prioritize like which videos should be made first, what you guys want to see while streaming, for example, what you guys think is most important video content wise, series that you guys think would be valuable to see and whatnot. So I really wanted to try to curtail some of those thoughts that have just been, flooding in throughout the many months into something a little bit more concise that I can try to, process through here as we go through the, the next time period. He said, add me on Xbox. Did you send me a friend request? Hang on, let me see. Don't judge me, by the way, for downloading Fortnite. Because I usually try to add everyone back that adds me. So, I mean, if you send me a friend request, I'll add you. It's not, there's no S, though. It's just, it's a singular, Jake Clip. I'm a singular individual. I'm only a plural when I'm a business, apparently. And work is awesome. Grinding it now. I love grinding dollars in real life and gold. Yes, so. That's always a great perspective way to look at it, in my opinion. So that is the main thing that I wanted to talk about. How's it going, Trevor? That was the big thing is so like there's so many video ideas, so many. I wanted to try to figure out how to narrow that down. How's it going, Track? And I don't really have a finite full plan to do that. So I was like, well, I'll ask you guys. You guys have thoughts and opinions, right? You guys are, you're built out of those. So that's my plea for help is what should I do? What videos should I focus on first? And I can give you a general observation. How's it going, Steven? Weekly poll, Jace, that's a good idea. So I guess my thing too is that there's so many, so you can only have, I think, 6 categories on a YouTube poll. I hear her in the background. What are you doing back there? Sorry, she has like that little toy where it's like the stick and the string. Hang on, I'll grab it so you can see it. it's this thing. It's like setting back there, so she was like going crazy. And like I also don't try to like cover things, to death either. Like I'm not one of those people that feels the need, to push out a video if it's already been covered well. So I do want to cover Necrom, but I also don't necessarily know like what I would do specifically about Necrom, if that makes any type of sense. Like obviously there's a lot coming out with the class and whatnot, but I feel like we kind of already know a decent bit. I do, and I have like, so for example, I have the Jesters video already, but I don't have, I want to make more of a specific one that's like, hey, this is what you need to farm during this event, as opposed to just the event overview. Just start at the top of the list of the ones that come up most often, just gives 3 options or it gets ridiculous. That's true. The problem is the most common recommendation I get is can you do a 1-bar Stam Necromancer build, or a PvE, Magicka Nightblade build 1-bar? And like, certainly I can do those things. It just becomes tricky. And I also don't know like how many people are interested in that type of content. I also worry, especially for PvP ones, because in truth, it's very hard to like actually know how good a PvP build is. That might sound very like crazy, but say for example, I made a brand new character right now, leveled him up to 50, put his champion points in, took him to a battleground. Well, he's a brand new character. He's going to go against super easy cupcake people who are also on brand new characters, who are probably not using things that are as good as people that are in like Greyhost Cyrodiil. You're not going to really go up against ball groups in the same capacity and whatnot. And also, let's be totally realistic here, I could get my ass whooped 99% of the time and then take screenshots and be like, oh, or not screenshots and so, but just clips of me actually doing well. Be like, look at these 1% of the time. You'd be like, there's a lot of cuts and edits in this singular battleground. What was the end result? You'd be like, don't worry about that. Just worry about these, couple, double, and, triple kills. Don't worry about my KD being like, 0.15. Don't worry about any of that. The Necrom Gold making guy, that's actually a really good one. I'm glad people have started coming to your Twitch stream. Thank you, Thicky Brando. It's very, very interesting to say out loud. Make a low-level BG guide. That's a good option. So what I plan to do is actually, I almost want to reset the list. So I pulled up, and you can see because it's bright as hell, like illuminates my whole face. A new list, starting fresh. So that way, that is very bright. We need to turn down the brightness here. Hang on. Can I not turn down the brightness? It's not turning down. This is tragic. Display. You not do that while you're streaming? Does the Mac stop you? I feel like an idiot. I'm sorry, everyone. I didn't mean to like put on pause our wonderful discussion, but apparently I'm an idiot who doesn't know how to turn his own display brightness down. I can't even turn on like dark mode or nothing. Oh, there it goes. Now at least turn on the dark mode, but it still has the display. Anywho. It'll just look like it'll be like very bright. Be very bright over here. I can always take it on my phone too. You can see because I'm going, this is the Streamlabs window. This is the Microsoft Word window. Stream window. Other window. I know, it's like it's a ghost light in my own apartment. Yeah, I'm in a spotlight. It's like, what the heck? You know how hard it is to balance light and audio, by the way. I don't even know if my audio is good. I just feel like it's tolerable based on like what has been in the previous iterations of Jake Clips videos. And how's it going, Woody? I can't remember if I said hi or not, but I was very distracted by the whole light situation. Like to know how to PvP. I've watched others and I have no idea what the fuck is going on. What are the numbers, etc. I've played since the beta and never once did PvP, and I just haven't had a clue. Let me also switch you, by the way, so your guys' chat should pop up more together. I always forget you guys should be able to see each other now. Hopefully. Jason also added sets, bars, setup, etc. And the audio sounds fine. It's always a worry. Audio is one of the most finicky things ever. And hello, see, Nella, you're the first person to be in the new chat bar. So welcome everyone to the new chat bar where Twitch can hopefully see YouTube. Hopefully, barring the fact that Streamlabs just needs to work. Sometimes it does. Sometimes, mostly it doesn't. But the biggest thing that I wanted to do, I actually could write this on paper. I actually might do that. I have actually a notebook paper here. Holy, give me 2 seconds. I actually have a notebook, so I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna write down all your guys' ideas, even if it's crazy. That way, you know, I don't have to sit in this black light or this flashlight. You should have your cat entertain us when you walk away. She's here. She's like, I brought the stick over, so she's like looking at the stick. I have it set next to me. But yeah, she's here as per always. She's always close by. And I feel the need to justify this purchase. People ask why I have a cover. It's actually not because of the cat. It's just because I didn't like the color brown mixed with the other stuff in the background. So I just feel like it just looks better. But I'm starting to write down, you know, your ideas. Also, Nick says following both channels. I missed that message earlier. Thank you. And now I'm going to start writing everything down. So, well, hang on, there's that friend request from one of you. And again, you guys can send me, hey, we have the same background. You guys are more than welcome to add me on Words, Xbox. If you play on Xbox, you know, more than welcome to add me. In the same way, you know, you're more than welcome to like, share, subscribe, all the YouTube videos. You can send me friend requests on Discord. More than happy to have as many conversations as I can with yous. But this is usually the easiest way to get as many opinions at once as possible. So we're talking about PvP guides. But so when you say like to know how to PvP, and then I think one of you, Eric, also kind of was expanding upon that. What do you mean per se? Oh, you actually already gave me that answer. How to PvP could be a series starting with your bar setup, type, gear, food, and get someone to have a fight with you to explain what's going on as you're fighting. Okay. So I'm going to say PvP series. You can see I'm writing it down. I actually have Fallout notebook paper, and I've been looking for a reason to use this. It came in one of those loot box things. Oh, another one you can see. So this could just be a total random friend request, but I imagine it's one of you. So the other thing that we were talking about was a Mythbusters series. One of you guys had suggested that because there's a lot of myths in ESO, such as, you know, hey, when it's like the Explorers event, do you get double drops from doing your, you know, treasure maps or doing your survey? So I was thinking a Mythbusters series, but I wanted to know, so I have that where it's double surveys. And then just testing out if it works. Spoiler alert, I don't think it does. And then the one where we talk about coffers. So for those of you who know, the people who are, what am I looking for here? I'm trying to think what I was even thinking about. Oh, heavens. What was the second one? Oh, the coffers. So you farm a whole bunch of, say, like, rewards of the worthy coffers, but then you open them, you know, after like a new set's been put in the rewards of the worthy. Unfortunately, I believe that doesn't work either. How's it going, Captain Average? What's the most effective way to earn gold with just the base game with Morrowind, Imperial City DLC? So Eric, great question. I would say the number one thing that you could do is your daily writs. Obviously, I'm a huge proponent in daily writs. And the nice thing is that Morrowind actually allows you to do the writs in Vivek City. Even if you're like a baby crafter, never crafted a day in your life, well, get those hands dirty and start going in there and, you know, converting those materials. and by, you know, building those 3 iron daggers and whatnot. The other nice thing too is Vardenfell actually has some really nice sets. So there's just generally some decent zones that you could farm, and I would say that that's one of them. What am I looking for here? DLC zones. Vardenfell's still in DLC zones, right? Yep. All right, so Defiler, I'd say, I mean, pretty much every set here is actually fairly decent. Warrior Poet has seen its, you know, heyday in sales. War Maiden has seen its heyday in sales. Even Defiler is pretty decent when it comes to selling. So you can sell the overland sets from Vardenfell. Vardenfell is just overall a pretty good zone, and the materials that you pick up from there are also pretty decent too, because that's the one that gives you the, or is it the Rubic Amber or something special? So that could be pretty good too. HCP says, Jacob, you're awesome. Thank you. Crafting materials. Hang on. Chat's actually going very fast. Danny says, I tried PvP Battlegrounds and I was so lost because the only PvP multiplayer I'm used to is first-person shooters like Call of Duty. I think it's something to get into. I'm just such a noob. Great point. I think that I actually think a PvP series would be good, especially for those of us who play on console, because my number one tip to us console players is do not bar swap with the D-pad, because it's very hard when you're in a conflict and you're fighting somebody. I feel the number one barrier for like people getting into Cyrodiil PvP or PvP in general, or sometimes even PvE content, is bar swapping, because it can be very annoying to bar swap, and that's why people are so drawn to 1-bar builds, heavy attack builds. I feel is because people don't like bar swapping. When I, for example, will just change it to the right thumbstick, and then I can bar swap with the right thumbstick, and I found that that's been very easy, honestly, to like do both PvE and PvP content. Somebody had asked about Magsork sets. I have lost that message though. I was trying to answer it in my head while I was answering other questions out loud, but I don't see your message. I'm trying to find it. Oh, there it is. Nella asked it. There you go. So I am a Magsork, if you weren't able to pick up on that. So I use Ancient Grace with Gaze of Sithis, Necropotence, 1-piece Swarm Mothers, and then 2-piece Trainee. And I find that that's the best setup for me, personally. Hello. How's it going, Master? I recently started playing ESO again and got hooked with your content. Greetings from Germany. Well, thank you, Rick. And then I play on PC EU, draw wax 25 to 28k each. Tempering alloys get 9k. And Farm War main set, it goes for a lot, like 75 to 200k for some pieces. Yeah, I think honestly it's pretty great. Do you think it's possible for a Magsork 1-bar with Werewolf? I mean, anything is possible. Is it effective? That's probably the better question, because for example, you would have a lot of, you would be able to live very well, and you would get the sorcerer's passives, which could be pretty decent, but I just feel like you'd be better off building a Stamsork and not a Magsork. But if you look up like Hantherpy Gaming, he's probably the best werewolf. Like, that's all he does is ESO werewolves. ESO werewolves for PvE, ESO werewolves for PvP, ESO werewolves for open world content. He has it all. He is the chief knowledge expert on it. I'm on PC or PlayStation, excuse me. Is there any site or app that helps me say how much stuff would run for without getting or guessing based on what others are selling for? Unfortunately, I don't know of one. Buy Somerset. Don't you use the TTC add-on? Oh, you're on PC. Yep. So that's the unfortunate pieces. Only really I know of Xbox, and then PC that has those resources. Fortunately. But also more suggestions for PvP, or not PvP, but well, I guess generally. For more types of content. Are there any other myths that you would like busted? So the small refinement method is a video that I've done in the past. I have seen moderate success with it, I feel, but I don't, it's so hard to tell because even if you had a large sample survey, you just never really know. I also can't promise, by the way, Demon, that I'll do a whole lot of interesting things while I'm taking down notes, but I will join the group. You feel free to wander around my house. You're fine. I wasn't gonna reject you on stream. Be like, oh, no. You can be on the friends list. You can't invite me to a group. Don't try that. I would never do that in front of people. I'm just kidding. But yeah, Vardenfell is overall just a great zone to have, in my opinion. Switch to PC, even better on PC, or even on basic PC like mine works. The game is so much easier and better. I agree with you in a lot of aspects. I do think that ESO is definitely fun on PC. I definitely think that there's a lot of pros to playing on PC. I just, if your friends are on Xbox like mine are, you have to play on Xbox. I have a PC account. He's fairly high leveled, so I think that for me that's where I go for these things, and that's where the heart is. That's where the home is. I'm on PS4 and just check my guild prices and go from there. Yeah, and honestly, that's the best way to do it. If you needed to, for example, get prices on things, I mean, just go to Deshaun, check Mournhold. You could check Elden Root. You could check Wayrest. You could check Vivek City, and that's a really good gauge of like how much something should be selling for, in my opinion. Are there any other intro series, by the way? So you guys had said you would like an intro series onto PvP, which I think is great. Awesome suggestion. Are there other things that you feel like would be helpful? It'd be like an intro to trading, intro to gold making, intro to guilds, intro to player guilds. I guess you could do other guilds too, although I just kind of made a video on the other one yesterday. Intro to zones, intro to DLCs. What do we think would be helpful from that perspective? And there's somebody else here at this house too. There's another one of you little rapscallions out here. 3 out of 24. I had PlayStation 4 before it got messed up on the last update, but never played ESO on it. Thank God. I would have found it unplayable without add-ons. House decorating competitions. So the other thing that I had on my original list that I will probably do at some point is somebody wants to, or what we'll likely do is have like a layout, like a housing layout, and then do like a sped up version of them building it with like, a camera view over, so you guys can watch the camera footage of it happening in real time. Well, sped up real time, real sped up time, fake time, fast time, I don't know, something like that. Potato. Definitely an intro into player games, because I don't know which ones to join and it's kind of overwhelming. If you had any good recommendations. So I'm a huge proponent of social and trade guilds. Now, obviously, you guys are all different. Everyone wants different things. For me, I love trade guilds. I love being able to go, for example, into Tamriels Depot, Breaking the Wheel. Brick Squad is my guild. Vixen's Valor and Ashes, and just have a really good trader week in and week out. But that's because I will make sure that I have enough stuff to keep constantly listed on those things and whatnot too. So it depends on like what you're doing. But I think there's trial guilds that can be really good. There's PvP guilds that can be really fun. Social guilds are really just your little bit of everything. But what I would suggest is every guild you join, try to have some that at least have a guild trader. Even if it's not, the biggest, baddest guild trader, it still at least gives you an avenue to start selling items. I'm sorry, Bass, your message was restricted or held for review. I don't know why it did that. Make sure that it unrestricts that. My cat has decided to now start standing on my notepad. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're not even on camera. People can't even see. Oh, now they can kind of see you. They can see me at least petting what it looks like an ear. She's gonna come cause chaos and then wander away. I think that's what she's doing. Maybe I can get her on screen with this. Oh, I can almost see your head. Like looking at it. Any interest? Just gonna stare at it. Oh, oh, there we go. There, I got her on screen for you. Now she's standing up on her hind legs. There you go. Intro to gold making, intro to serial. Oh, so do you mean like the intro to dailies? Hang on. Intro to gold making should come before trading. Yeah, I would say so. Intro to trading. I think it depends though, because honestly, gold making is such like a weird thing, because like you could look at it as like, you know, you watch a gold method, hopefully you know like what you're supposed to do to make the gold after the video. And I try to be concise in my videos that were gold making method explain videos of like, hey, here's what you should do. But it does always depend. I'm gonna like set my keyboard over here. Don't judge me, because my cat keeps trying to stand on it. She's probably gonna like Alt F4 you guys into oblivion. Intro to dailies, that's a good one. I was also, and I still plan to make like a mid-game player guide. So I have the new player guide and the returning player guide. So I wanted to make a mid-game player guide, because I you know, there's always a point in the game where you kind of feel like a new player, and then there's that point when you're playing a game where you're like, I feel like, you know, I kind of know enough, like I'm pretty confident, like there's not a lot that surprises me. And I wanted to try to like help people mid-max, like, you know, daily routines, how to get into that, you know, mid-game PvE content, like what you should start farming, things to keep an eye out for. So I do plan to still make a mid-game player guide. Everyone watching, make sure to like the video if you're enjoying it. It will help more people see it. Thank you, Danny. Let's just call you Donnie, because from a distance, my phone is like flat up because it pops up on my phone before it pops up in the Streamlabs chat, and that looked like an O. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't think that's what your name is. I also plan to, I've gotten the tickets to go to their Vegas event, so we'll do, you know, buy one of those obnoxious cameras. I'll be like an IRL streamer. You know, I'll just go around, you know, well, I don't know if I can afford a big camera. I'll just go around, you know, with my iPhone and just be like, here we are. You know, here it is. Here's the event. And they'll be like, this is obnoxious. Transmute should be used once you have the most items in a set. That's true. I could do like a transmute guide. I plan to actually talk about another transmute method that I've never talked about before. So that could be a good like segue into it. Sounds like it'll be fun. I certainly hope so. But we never know until we get there and experience it. I've never really gone, never really done anything like this before. Nor did I think when I started to make a video. Let's not forget the audio quality of my first video. Didn't really think I would get to a point where I would fly out to a ZeniMax event. What to sell, deconstruct, and what to bank. That could be actually a good video in itself. Like, sell, deconstruct versus bank. It's a good, because like if you think about it, you know, when you're making a character, it can be good to have that dialogue of like, you know, what's important to save, what's important to sell, what's, you know, what's worth, you know, banking. I get called Donnie a lot. No big deal. When is the Vegas event? It's like April 13th and 14th, I want to say. I'm pretty sure, if off the top of my head. It's that Tuesday. No, it's that Wednesday, Thursday. Always reconstruct. That is true. Well, I mean, I guess it depends. Like, if you're like me and you needed, like, for example, when I was doing a perfected, like when I made my perfected Basai, it was still cheaper, I think, for me to change the trait than it was to reconstruct. Maybe I'm remembering that backwards. It depends on how many items you have of a set. And back then, and kind of still almost to this day, farming certain trials is like pulling teeth. And I was just done farming Rock Grove because this was back when everyone wanted to wear Psi, which for those of you who don't know, Psi is just a really good Magicka set. So it was, everyone wanted it, so I would farm it. I'd get like one piece, and then I'd be like, hey, anybody have the boots or whatever? And then everyone was like, oh, they're going into my sticker book, buddy boy. And I was like, well, that sucks. I love that I start to get a feeling what sells and whatnot, but I'm too inexperienced to just know. And that's fair. And it can always be, that's the thing about ESO versus a game like RuneScape, is the market is much more spread out. So it's harder to get a full picture, as opposed to, you just go to RuneScape, you can see right on the Grand Exchange all the stuff on there, right away, boom. Here it's like, got to go check one guild trader, check another one. And it's done that way, I want to say almost purposefully, because it prevents people from consistently undercutting each other. But it also can be difficult, because say for example, I wanted to sell golden crafty Elfique ring. Pretty good set. I would have to basically not only check all of these guild traders, but at any given day, somebody could list up 20 in Tamriels Depot. I could have mine listed in Tamriels Depot. Some dude could list up 20 gold rings. When, say, for example, only 2 or 3 are selling a week. So now mine's not going to probably sell by the time it gets kicked back to me. Those are things that you have to consider. That's the ESO economy for you, is you have to not only consider not just how valuable something is, but how often it's going to sell. Perfect example, I'll give you an even better example, because I have made a new character. You can tell me if you guys recognize who this character is. I'm a little proud of him. Don't look at his name, everyone. Close your eyes. Don't look, even though for some reason he's blank. And you are right, Bass. It costs 50 to transmute it. Reconstruction can be 25 or something if you have all the gear. Yes, that is true. I think at base it's like 75, but I truthfully don't know. But do you guys recognize, who this is based off of? Anyone not see the name? Does this look familiar to anybody? Anyone recognize it? Oh, hang on. Sorry, Craig, your message got flagged. Unfortunately, PlayStation servers are being bot farmed to hell, and mats aren't worth shit at the moment. That is unfortunately true, but what I would say is not all mats are created equally. For example, Perfect Royal usually is not as adversely affected by bots. Does this look like, a certain character, with little flaming weapons and, whatnot? Maybe from a specific, fantasy franchise? Anyone recognize them? Anyone see that? Oh, and I forgot, Alex, that you were in the house and I just completely left you there. I'm sorry, Alex. You got distracted because I was like, oh, I want to go show you something. So I was building this character off of, well, I'll spoil it. I was trying to make him look like Sauron from Lord of the Rings. So he's one of my new characters that I plan to level up during the Jesters event. And I wanted to get the specific pieces of gear for him. And there was the Ancient Daedric chest. Thank you, Craig. The Ancient Daedric chest. And it was worth about 400,000 gold, I want to say. And I was like, going around and around and around. And what was interesting is that, so the one that I had initially looked at to say, like, here's the one that I found, right? It was purchased at 400,000, but then I found one that was cheaper, listed a few days later. So it's always odd because you would think in like a normal, traditional economy that wouldn't happen so quickly, but the truth is that people just don't know. This is a perfect example of it. It's a valuable motive, where it can be I can bring you to somewhere a little bit brighter. Hang on. You would think the Alakir Desert would be a little brighter. My screen brightness is not the highest. It doesn't want to burn my retina. Get up on this freaking rock. Is this not? You know? There we go. I was gonna say. There you go. Event dates. I believe it will be the last week of March. Will be the Jesters event. And thank you, Demon, for complimenting the house. It's okay. I want to go mat farm. So mat farming, I think, is still a pretty great way to get gold. I think that overall it's just peaceful. It's also very consistent. But compared to like other methods, you know, for example, sorry, I'm like destroying your guys' view. Say like, and this is one of my secrets to farming whatever. And I'll even tell you what I'm farming right now. You guys are here. You guys deserve the true information. I'll give you the dirty details. So obviously not this character because he's like a little potato, but say for example the world boss is like right here. I think this is right where the Chimera is anyway. Well, this is how I farm gold sometimes. I'll sit around at a world boss, kill it, take the loot. I'll probably get, you know, 1 to 2 pieces that I'll be able to sell. And then, you know, sit, do some work on the side, maybe edit a video, maybe take some notes, maybe do some actual, like, you know, work, maybe like cook dinner, whatever. And then I will kill the boss again, same thing. And what's interesting is, for example, this Gourmand set sells for like 20 to 30,000 for these pieces. So if you think about it, in an hour, if you're doing a world boss every like 5 to 10 minutes, 20 to 30,000 a piece, if you're getting it per boss, I mean, you're making like 100,000 or 120,000 plus gold just on those pieces, and you can consistently fill up. Another way you can do that too, if you wanted to get more consistent gold and there's less people killing world bosses, is just go and kill a delve boss. Go to a public dungeon. You know, that's what makes this so unique to farm. Now, obviously, not every zone has public dungeons in the same way. Not everyone has anchors, so that will always vary a little bit. But say, for example, you're like, you know, I'm gonna start. You know, I'm gonna get into trading. Just like pick some good sets. You know, we talked about Vardenfell earlier. Vardenfell's got some good sets. Hrothgar's got some good sets. I think Bankrai's got some good sets. I think that High Isle has been farmed into oblivion because they gave away all those sets for free. But definitely Galen. Galen's got some amazing sets to sell. Gold Coast has some good modus that you can farm by doing the daily quests. Even the sets inside of Hugh's Bane are pretty decent. Blackwood, probably the best that you could possibly ask for when it comes to zones. It will be more tricky if you're trying to like sit at a world boss because less people are going to be farming those world bosses, so you might really need like a leveled up companion. But if you were to sit at like a public dungeon, you can just kill the public dungeons repeatedly, and then you would just take all those items, list them up between all your guild traders, and bada bing bada boom, wham bam, thank you ma'am. You have however many listings you have. Say you're in a Mournhold trader. Well, now you've got 30 listings. Say you've got 4 Mournhold traders, and now you've got 4 sets of 30 listings. I found your videos for quest rewards, secrets, and stuff. I hope that was helpful for you. Make more of those. Okay, I will write that down on my little notepad. For those of you who don't know, I have a notepad right now. That's why I keep staring at the ground, seemingly. Run out of ink? No way I ran out of ink. Hang on. Don't mind me like jerking off my pen. Quest reward videos. It's also exciting to Craig that is their birthday week. And farm dragons and elsewhere. That's another great way to do it, because not only will dragons give you lots of good stuff that you can use to grind up into potions, but dragons also drop, you know, the set items from that zone. So that could be another really good money maker. I think the biggest thing to understand. Thank you, by the way, for the follow, the Cinnamon Girl. I also accidentally have the chat box. Not the chat box. Where's the alert box? Why didn't it alert me? Did I miss it? said a few seconds ago. Did it pop up and I just not noticed because my computer's turned down? I'm so sorry if you did and I missed it, but she did, because I see it on my screen on my Streamlabs. But anywho, that's why. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's Demon Speak. Did I miss the other one? Did it not pop up? I don't know. I apologize. I get easily distracted. But thank you for the follow, Demon Speak. Haven't been able to play PlayStation 5 in a while because with the type of controller I have, I don't have a charger for it. Well, that sucks, Kyle. I have a cool video idea. I just found out if you do the Vardenfell main quest until the meteor becomes all fiery, then you can leave it there and always have a fireball in the sky when doing writs. I don't know how viable that is for you know, it's certainly interesting and unique. Yeah, so change the color of pop-ups. What color of the pop-ups? Like of the social one or the other, something different? So far, by the way, we have PvP, intro guides, different types of PvP, how to get into it. Mythbusters, talking about rewards of the worthy, small refinement method, surveys. Then we've got houses, contests, other such things, maybe like a speed up through time, intro to trading / daily quests, a mid-game player guide, a transmutation guide, a sell, deconstruct, or bank guide, and then a quest, you know, board video guide. And then, oh, a sell, deconstruct, bank. I think I said that. Might have said that. Sorry, my brain is scattered. This is white on white screen. That is true. I wonder if I can actually change that. Truthfully, I'm deathly afraid to change anything because Streamlabs already basically runs like, you know, potato hooked up to a potato. For example, I'm like looking, the chat that I see through Streamlabs is like infinitely behind, and I'm like desperately worried that like Twitch is like talking and I'm just missing all these Twitch messages. And I'm just seeing the YouTube ones because I have YouTube pulled up on my phone. Since I'm pretty new to the game, I'm only doing main quests right now, just trying to learn the story and doing some of the daily quests. What level do you think I can reach just doing quests? There's enough quests in the game that you could probably cap out, truthfully. But is it the most effective way? No, but the story I think is actually fairly enjoyable. So I would encourage you, like, if you enjoy doing... I also realize now that I'm using 150% XP scroll in this guy, so I should probably log out. But you certainly could level up through just questing. But feel free, you know, to do whatever you think is the most, you know, fun thing for you to enjoy, you know, leveling and playing ESO. I still have to level up Poseidon too at some point. Where is the if I buy an Armory slot from the store, does it go on all your tunes? No, it actually does not. It only goes onto that specific one. Mullig Ball is a total wimp. That he is. He's always like, oh, I'm just going to send my anchors down. Be a real man. Be like Maroon's Dagon, you know? Flood through portals like a man, not these little anchors in the sky. A weirdo. Although Maroon's Dagon was beaten by juiced up freaking Argonians, so... You know, to give it a take, I guess. More video ideas, by the way. Do we have any other ideas? Any other suggestions? And it could be a stream idea too. It doesn't always have to necessarily be like a guide. It could always be like a, hey, I want to see you stream. My controller batteries are low. What the hell? We'll just let that go and see how long it goes. That just sounds like a list of different money-making LMAO. You'll get bored, but you'll find a niche for channel. Everyone needs money. That's true. And I actually forgot to write down the Necrom Gold guide, like how to profit off of Necrom. Good evening. How's it going, Silent? The Necron. God, this pen is like, you know, for it being like, so this is a Fallout pen. I got it from the loot box. You know, for it being like a Voltec pen, really kind of sucks. Now, obviously, Voltec was not known for, you know, their pens, I guess, but you would think it would be a little bit better. Come on. I had more trouble with Dagon, embarrassingly. Oof. He's a little tougher to fight. Well, you're also like imbued with the power of Meridia when you like do the whole you know, storyline through Cold Harbor versus into the, you know, the Blackwood campaign. So, you know, difference in power level too. A lot of gold making, into crafting, gathering mats, woodworking, another more mini type series. That could be a good idea. Misusing my mag crow. I want to see you stream placing a few furnishings because whenever I try, 1/3 of the time it looks janked. I don't know if I could actually build anything very well. Like, I mean, like, I feel like I put a lot of effort in and I feel like I have to tweak it constantly and you guys only really see the finished product. But I think that's a good idea, like how to, you know, how to utilize your house. That could be a good video, and then how to like place. My cat is like attacking my pen as I write now. So this is just going swimmingly. One live stream I really like, or either a really long video, would be some of your favorite moments playing ESO or favorite stories from something like a podcast. I think that could be cool. What are you doing, cat? She's like sniffing the words that I'm writing. Why? Does ink smell like something? There we go. I got those ideas written down, even though I had to fight my cat to write them down. What are you doing? Oh, she wants the pen. That's what she wants. I set the pen down and she's like trying to bat it around. That's what she really wants. She wants the pen. Last I remember, my Mag Crow Vampire just had basic equipment I made myself. Well, I mean, you know, just beef it up. There's also nothing wrong with crafted sets. That could actually, you know, now I'm thinking out loud. Top 5 crafted sets. There we go. Boom. Crafted sets. I always feel like people give crafted sets a bad name. Some of the best slots, or best sets in the game, excuse me, are crafted sets. What's up, Jake and chat? How's it going? I'd tell you your name, but my cat is blocking. Oh, one high. AZN. Sorry, my cat has decided to just cause chaos. She feels like I need to do something more interesting than just take notes while talking to all of you. I think it's phenomenally interesting, but she is of a different opinion, apparently. Try to distract her real quick with her little toy. Get her off the area. Best areas, quickest areas for a good spot to find crafting materials in the world would be helpful. Any material farming would be helpful. Just trying to fill up my craft bag board. I think I have a video on crafting materials, but it's pretty dedicated to like the generic woodworking, blacksmithing, you know, etc. It's not anything crazy. It's not like a Rubik Amber or portals. I do think a zone video would be good. Like a, you know, best zone storage management. That could be a good one. Storage management. Alrighty, got that written down. Any other brain juices flowing between anyone here that's like, man, I really want to see a video on this. And I do obviously have the second YouTube channel that will focus on some of the more interesting things about YouTube. So that'll be talking about like the weird sponsorship offers and some of the other weird YouTube things that have happened. So I will also make that video here in the near future. I was originally going to make the video a few weekends ago, and then some more craziness came in. And like, you know, for example, it always surprises me how they're like, all right, Jake, you're obviously a ESO YouTuber. Do you know what your audience is really going to love? And this is a real product, by the way. Smart plugs. And I'm like, how did you find me? How'd you get in my house? And they're like, here, test out. This is a real product, by the way. This is actually something that I was sent by a real sponsor to test out and see if I like it. I just wonder, right? Like, somebody out there in this world is like, you know what? They watched my video on the golden vendor and they thought to yourself, you know what? This is a man who can move some units. You know, his audience, my cat is sitting on my keyboard right now. That's Peachy. He's like, you know what? Smart plugs. So do you like it, LOL? Well, I mean, it does what it says it's supposed to do, so I guess that's a positive. How's it going, Silent Berserker? Need a part 2, the best quest series and rewards. Part 2, secret buffs. Secret buffs. It's one of those things where it's like, how do you go to the, you know, the Jake Clips YouTube, you know, page and think to yourself, oh, this is a man. And a smart plug is a good example. Like, that's an example of something where you might think like, oh, well, you know, people who play video games are probably younger. They're looking to buy some more things that, you know, are utility based. But it's the more weird things that people reach out to. Those are the more interesting ones where it's like, you want me to sell bikes? Like, that's a real one too. You want me to sell bikes? And then they're like, yes. And then, or chairs. You know, for example, you might think, oh, gaming chairs, gamers. It's not a gaming chair. It's just a traditional chair. And I'm like, well, and what always bothers me is so like, obviously smart plug people were like, here, you can have a smart plug. Now granted, these are obviously much cheaper than a whole, you know, chair. But what's annoying is it's like, well, what if I don't like it? Like, what if it get here and it sucks? It's like, obviously the bar for a chair isn't necessarily the highest, but you know, I do have expectations for these things. I don't want to like sell you your, you know, prop up something that's horrible. So that's my tangent about smart plugs and sponsorships. I apologize because that was a whole tangent, and I feel like a lot of you guys have clicked off. I apologize. I'm over here laughing because I'm just now thinking, since I got the anniversary edition for Skyrim a while back, my farm outside Whiterun has probably made me a ton of gold. Yeah, it's true. You probably should stop by and check it out. I've not played. That's so weird. I don't understand the numbers. So like, how do we jump the numbers on who is where and whatnot? And is absolutely crazy. You know, for example, we just went from 50 concurrent viewers on YouTube to 20 to 40. I don't understand it. As you know, maybe you could furnish your home with what your sponsors will send you. Probably. My thing more so is that I just want to make sure that whatever I'm showing or giving to you or advertising is actually good. Don't knock smart plugs. I freak my neighbors out by switching the lights on from the other side of the world. It's, you know, great product, mind you. I just, you know, if I was selling, like, you know, let's pretend we're a product. Let's say I sell TV remotes. You know, how do you watch YouTube videos and you think to yourself, this is a man right here. I just watched this golden vendor video. He can move some remotes. Is there a way to carry a torch like that? Like, walk around with it out? Some areas are so dark. You have to have the personality for it. Unfortunately, the personality itself was event timed, I believe, and I think they may have added it to a thingamabob, words, crown crate, but it was originally with the Season of the Dragon event, But yeah, it's an actual personality that you get it through. I also feel like YouTube is just lying to me at this point with how often it's like fluctuating viewers and whatnot. I did have other questions while half of you keep constantly disconnecting and reconnecting. So I'm looking to upgrade into a better video editing software so that it makes it easier to video edit. And I was curious if there's different types of edits that you guys think make videos more enjoyable, funnier, easier to watch through, or other such things that I could start implementing once I have a little bit of a beefier software to use as opposed to the ragtag software I have now. Those of you who don't know, pretty much up until like 6 months ago, I pretty much, probably even sooner, since last since last December, I've been editing all my videos on my phone. It was only at the end of December, beginning of January, that I started to actually video edit on my actual computer. The problem is I still use the same software that's from my phone, so it's not really like super great. So if you have suggestions for actual software that's good, definitely take that too. But I also wanted like different editing like tips. Would you guys like enjoy to see like captions on, for example? Would you guys like more sleek transitions during videos? You know, more humor put in? Do you guys enjoy memes inside of videos? Some videos will obviously not have as much editing, like the Golden Vendor videos generally don't have a whole lot of editing, just because it has to be like put out very quickly. But I was curious if you guys have opinions on that, and you know, any suggestions that you would make for any editing styles and whatnot. YouTube is just all sorts of cattywampus with it just keeps like jumping up and down and up and down and up, and I don't know what's causing it. It's ridiculous, but and I can't stay for too much longer, so I'm gonna have to step away here soon because I still have to make dinner or whatnot. But that's kind of what I wanted to end on, is just ask that kind of open-ended question. And if you're watching this as like a stream replay and you're thinking, you know, Jake, I think it'd be better if you know, maybe did a different intro, or maybe you don't need an intro segment, or I would prefer chapters. It doesn't always have to be like, you know, editing. It could be anything YouTube related, different thumbnails, or if you really like a thumbnail I made recently versus one you didn't like, so that way I can compare the two and say like, this thumbnail was really good, this thumbnail was eh. It helps me kind of get an idea for like what looks good to other people, because as you may know, YouTube, it gives you stats, but it doesn't really, you know, it's hard to know, for example, because say one video does infinitely better than another. It could be the thumbnail, it could be the video intro, it could be the topic itself, it could be the title, it could be the tags, it could be the length. And what I currently use right now is KineMaster 6. Oridan cake. Honestly, for me, something I just listen to your videos and you have in your background. If you were showing something, oh, sorry, I'm going to cut you off there because Lost in the Fog has followed. Thank you, Lost in the Fog. What Danny was saying, honestly, for me, sometimes I just listen to the videos and have you on in the background talking. And if you are showing something, I need to see that I look, but I do love the humor. Well, thank you. It's always a bit of a weird thing to ask for editing advice, because it's hard to know, like, editing is one of those weird things where you don't know something looks good necessarily until you do it for the first time, or you like see it somewhere else. It's hard to like create a style, and obviously I do edit my videos. It's not like, you know, one take with no intro and outro, obviously. But I always am looking for like sleeker ways to do anything, and unfortunately the software I have is like very tricky to do like edits and whatnot. So I'm trying to explore other technology and things to try to always improve. Just curious what you're having for dinner. I just ate tacos, so I'm actually have a steak, and I plan to make that, and with potatoes. It's nothing super crazy, but you know, I'm a huge steak fan. My cat has blocked your message, Mr. Cake. Hang on, I gotta move her. Let me move her real quick. I'll use her toy. Oh, there she goes. Oh, move here. Move here. I like your videos, much better talent than me. Well, I mean, I think anyone can learn how to do this. Like, if it's something you're passionate about, like, yeah, you know, go out there and make some videos. Vanden says Artea has some really nice edited videos. Who knows how long it takes her to make her content. It isn't very frequent. That's true, but I mean, it also comes down to, like, you know, like what you're doing in real life. Although honestly, my actual job is very chaotic, so I don't want to make any promises here that I'll, you know, get skilled and better at it. But it's more so like, even if it's consistent, I'm just like looking for ways to try to streamline processes too. And part of that is also like looking at things like which thumbnails work, because sometimes like it's the process of making thumbnails can be a pain in the ass. Titling videos can be a pain in the ass. Editing videos. So it's nice to just know like which tactics and things look nice versus which ones people are just like, I don't give a shit, you know, like make the video. I don't care what the, you know, if you have a fluttery stream background or a video background. And it's kind of like music. Some people have said like, you know, I enjoy music. I wouldn't care for music. I'd be indifferent towards music. And that was one of those times I realized where I was like, I think regardless of what I do, I will A, have people who are annoyed that I changed something, B, have people who don't care, and C, have people who are happy that I changed something. So it's always a balance, because there's always every opinion possible when it comes to these things. But I, you know, want to make sure that you guys have a voice in these conversations as I look to change things. Oh, my cat's back again. Vivavi is very basic, but less of a price tag than the high-end stuff. I started with that one. Gosh, dang it, my cat is back. I gotta distract her. She's in front of the keyboard again. Oh. Put it over here. Ultimately, people will come for your content because they like it. That's true. But I also, you know, want to make sure it's, you know, a good product, you know. Granted, I was a very C's get degrees type person in college, but I want to make sure that you guys get, you know, a good product. You know, maybe we could shoot for a B, maybe even a B minus, maybe a B plus, you know, if we're feeling crazy. So that's kind of what I was, you know, shooting for when it comes to trying to make some changes, because it's tricky to edit with what I currently have. So I'm just looking for new ways to edit and get, you know, better improve with these things. Even streaming right now, like you know, I'm always looking to improve the old streaming process. Obviously I'm not a oh man, my controller batteries are dead. Let me go up. Let me go change those real quick. Don't judge me. Sorry about that. Had full storage and inventory till lost treasure. Evie rocks, you're well trained. She is she's something. I literally never seen a content creator caring so much about viewers' opinions and improvement. Respect. Well, thank you, Rick. But I mean, if you think about it, like the fact that people are sending me, not to go back to the smart plugs, the fact that people are sending me smart plugs is a testament to the fact that you guys have created something special enough to where people want to send me random things to see if I like it, to try to see if you guys would like it. So I mean, you're the people who watch the content. You know, you should have a lot of say in these types of things. When I search on YouTube about ESO, money making, farming routes, meta gear for PvP or PvE, XP, farming spots, and guide. I do need a new XP guide. That is a good point too. XP, character class guides, and how to mid max. good point. The cat's like batting around something. Sorry, she's always just going off craziness. This is also the time of day when she's most active, because like usually my work schedule is a little bit crazy, but I'm usually home by at least this point in the night, so this is usually when she's most active, because she's like, I'm so happy to see you, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here. But what's funny is, so the other day I had this toy here like laying on the ground. It's just the stick. Oh, you can see her. She's running around and she's excited to grab it. But you hear sprinting across. She was very excited to play with it. So I had it like laying like on the ground behind me or something, because I like set it on the ground after I was done using it with her. And she would like walk up to me, meow at me, and then walk over to it. And then if I didn't follow her, she would walk back, meow at me, and then walk back to it. And then after I didn't realize what was happening until she started to like nibble on my foot and then walk over. And then when I picked it up, she was then happy. And then she actually started to then play with it. So that's what it's like having a cat, if anyone is unaware. Which, by the way, will be a story on the second channel, because the story about how I got a cat is ridiculous and crazy. To be fair, though, when you work for Child Protective Services, every day is crazy. Every day is chaos. And you see stupidity all the time. And that is why I will always be happy to play ESO. You see, and this is my theory, right? For why certain content creators might not be as happy to play games or whatever. Like, if you work all day and you're just hoping to get home, you see some sales, you grind out some XP, you get some set pieces you want, you're happy. That's all you need. You are humble with what you want from your game. But if you play it 24/7, stream it every day, your whole job is to make content about, video, and it could be any video game. It could be Destiny. Your whole life is Destiny 2, for example. Eventually, you might become to the point where you're a little bit, what is my cat doing? She just hit something she's not supposed to hit. Your whole life becomes Destiny. And then every little tweak and change you're aware of, everything you know about. Like, for example, somebody will be like, oh my God, they nerfed the Warden. And I'm like, oh no, I've not played a Warden in years. I'll be like, that's crazy. Anyway, some people are just a little bit too in tune with changes and the game itself. And I think the game loses a little bit of magic when it's like your full-time job, like, everything. Like, I remember when I was doing every single quest in ESO, I did all of them. I've done every single side quest that there is. I remember doing that, and that was one of the most enjoyable times I had. A lot of people would say it's not worth doing side quests. Side quests don't give good rewards. Side quests are not enjoyable. I did all of them, and it was some of the most fun I had. I didn't need to go out and do trials or PvP or endgame content or buy a 20th house. That was it was fun. And I agree too, Arcanic Death. You take a break if needed. I think where content creators sometimes run into this problem though is how if you make money based on playing a game, you can't really take breaks in the same way. It's like that's like taking time off work, except you're not going to get paid for it likely. So I think that's where a lot of people will run into problems. Now, obviously, those people are like living off that income. I'm not living off the smart plugs by any means, but I think that's where you have to be careful, and that's where I'm careful. And it's not, ESO is not a business for me. It's not make as much money as possible off my audience type thing, so that's where I try to be different. And that's why I usually have a happy, positive outlook on things. Humans are so surprised to find out how intelligent cats are. They train us all the time. The birdie is the best cat toy. She has good taste. On your Xbox stats, how much time you put into ESO? Let's not go there, Daddy. I don't want to see that. Min-maxing and then chilling later is how I don't lose interest in the game. And that's where I think it can be, fun to, min-max and, not stress constantly about the game. Thinking about buying a house, what's the dopest house in ESO? That is a loaded question, and I'll have to think on that. Play Diablo 4, something else a bit. We'll watch. Well, I think I might do something like that maybe in the future. I thought about streaming Harry Potter Legacy or Hogwarts Legacy. I think about stuff like that, but I think honestly my focus is going to be a lot towards ESO and then some of the other like interesting stories that I kind of go through. I thought about like those, I don't know if you know what Quora is, where it's where like people ask like the dumbest questions in the world. Granted, they're probably like 90% fake or troll comments, but people have the dumbest takes on there, and I thought that doing like a reaction video to some of that would be interesting. Personally though, Panther Fang Chapel, best house in my opinion. I think that's the best house in the game. Everyone's also entitled to their opinion. If you have other opinions, feel free to drop them below, but that's my professional opinion, expert opinion, random person opinion, something like that. I don't know where I set thing. Have you tried Final Fantasy 14? I have not tried Final Fantasy 14. It's also hard because like, so for example, I enjoy a specific type of game, but for me personally, it's not necessarily about just the games that I enjoy. It's about the games that my friends enjoy, because I would rather play with friends, so I think that's where the difference between me versus doing certain types of things versus like other people. Where is the dues for this person? Who's their name? Positing 300k for they're doing it now. I was like, I don't see it. What do I do with maps and surveys? We'll just take them all up. I would say do all your surveys because they're bound. You might as well do them. That is true. Farm them with the green CP tree active. That is 100% a good tip. Posits. There we go. So we get to Logan gets to go back in the good graces of a trade. And anyone else pay here? That was on the naughty list. Gosh, somebody that hadn't paid. Nope, he's good. All right. Sorry about that. Gotta do my due diligence as a guild master or guild council member every so often. And this is my gamer tag, Jake Clip. Did you ever finish the obstacle course? We did. Anime is Life. We actually did an obstacle course run. We will do another one also at some point. But basically, it's just Jake Clips without the S at the end. Haven't played ESO in almost 2 years. Just watched your coming back video on my way to reinstall it. Thanks. Well, thanks for installing it, coming back. It's a great game. How often do I play with subscribers? I forgot to answer the whole second part of your question. It depends. Like, so I try to do like events together. Like that was the obstacle course that somebody else was referencing, which I'll show you guys here. Take you guys into the old Doomchar. And thank you for the subscription, Matthew Merson. And if you're watching this and you aren't subscribed, now's a great time. We're shooting for slightly more. I never know what number to shoot for. Do you shoot for a really high number? Do you shoot for a number that's close? That way people are more inclined to subscribe? I have no idea. Another great question is do subscribers make a difference? Is views more important? I have no idea. I'm not qualified to give you that answer, unfortunately. But this is the obstacle course. We actually did a run through it. We gave out crowns to the winner. We'll likely do it again at some point too. Just depends on schedules and whatnot. And well, honestly, truthfully, it depends more on how crazy my work schedule becomes, because unfortunately my work schedule can be chaotic. It's Thunder, if you remember me. Well, welcome back. It's Thunder. I'm trying to remember, and I feel like thunder was very familiar, but I can't remember the context exactly. My cat is again staring in front of the monitor. She just is sitting. So I think it's because I'm looking right at my screen, like where the chat is. Oh, yes, Evil Blue Knight. I was thinking obstacle course specific, but now I'm remembering. What are you doing, cat? She's just sitting right where I'm looking, which is right where the chat is, and I have to like look around. What are you doing? I even fed her already. I played with her, fed her. She's like, this is the time when you're most active. Get up and do something exciting. Well, this is probably the time I'd be cooking dinner. This is usually her most exciting time, because if I'm like making something, I'll be like, here, have a piece of this. Or here, go chase this ball. And she will. Yeah, this is the obstacle. I don't know why I'm not facing it. It'd probably be helpful if you guys could actually see it. This is the obstacle course. Basically, it's just a jumping puzzle that goes over obstacles. So great opportunity, you know, for individuals. If you're on our next stream, like, we'll do the obstacle course again, and I'll keep everyone in touch as to when we do it. We have little companions too that kind of like show you the path. This is not the actual obstacle course. This is a secondary path for people who are spectating. I ordered Necrom. It should be fun. I think Necrom will be great. I'm just trying to think like what content should I do in regards to Necrom, but you guys gave me how easy you guys can see this. Let's focus in. Not necessarily, you don't have to read the words off, but you can see this is a whole page of ideas you guys gave me, so that's very helpful. How'd you try the new shell splitter armor set? What do you think? I've not tried it yet. I'm very excited about the new Rewards of the Worthy set. So there's a lot to be excited about that's coming out. I am going to start, winding down here and getting ready to go on with the evening. They're going to be hidden books, from my understanding. That will be dope. We'll have to look into that. Hidden books. Huh. Because that'd be kind of... And when I go to Vegas, will be one of the first people to try out the newest event, so I can come back and make content about it. And I'll have a leg up on these other YouTubers finally. They'll get sent secret letters, but I can sneak into these live events. What are you doing, cat? Freaking doofus. Sitting in front of... Like, literally just square right in front of where I'm trying to look constantly. But that's what she knows to do if she wants attention. And it works. It definitely works. But I am going to start winding down here. I'm going to send this to the old ending screen. Obviously, you're more than welcome to... If you have suggestions or anything, we talked about a lot today. If you're catching up, you can always put in the comments below suggestions for videos, content changes, thumbnail changes, title changes, description changes, everything else. Always looking for more ideas. Fritzy says, have a good night. Have a good night yourself. And treasure and survey maps are a pain to locate until the lost treasure add-on. Thanks for the content. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm add-on-less. So that is a good one that if I remember, it's the same one that I used to use. So thank you guys again for stopping by. I will keep you guys in the loop for our videos I'll probably start putting some of these out in a poll. That way you guys get a chance to not only, suggest videos, but also then vote as to which one comes out next, which I think, should be a little exciting. So hopefully that is helpful. Did not know it wouldn't be on your map on PlayStation and Xbox. Switch to PC, guys. That is true. We have to play with the clean UI. We don't get told where everything is, like sky shards and everything. Later, Arcanic Death. I've been throwing all my maps into a chest. That's how most people store them. And that's myself included. But, dear friends, I am going to be signing off here. So I want to thank you guys so much again for watching. Thank you to my cat for making some cameo appearances. And I'll see you guys later.